You know, I've often said, haven't I, that show business is a funny game. It's a tough game, and you really do have to have nerves of steel, particularly once you get at the top of your game. I don't know if you remember, but the celebrated actress in Hollywood and around the world, I might point out, Betty Davis famously, put an ad in a trade paper when work dried up, saying, that actress looking for work, and everybody was appalled. But as she pointed out, she'd had everything, won Oscars, and then suddenly the phone stopped ringing. So many people who've gone through this stage door here at the Victoria Palace in London might say the same thing. But of course it brings me to the story about today and exactly how show business is no different. It's been the same throughout so many years. And this of course centres around one of the very big TV shows of the early noughties. That's right, Sex and the City, created by Darren Star and starring Sarah Jessica Parker. Now I've been lucky enough to meet quite a few of the ladies from Sex and the City, and of course for many people it was a wonderful soap opera celebrating all manner of things. Some people found it a little too saucy, as I did, a little too spicy at times. But of course they were trying to create ratings and get things going ahead. And it all looked, didn't it, like these girls were absolutely the best of chums on camera. But as we found out later on, behind the scenes, it was simply totally different. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you today, literally outside the stage door of a very windy Victoria Palace Theatre in, of course, the very heart of London. Nice to have your company, thank you so much. So many famous people have walked through that door. Couldn't even begin to recount. It's been up since 1911. I know we could be here for some time. Yeah, so it's all very well for you. It's windy here. Now, Sex and the City, so many people watched it. And of course, famously, a couple of years ago, one of its major stars, Kim Cattrall, who's recently celebrated a birthday. We won't say how old, it's rude to. But basically, she fell out, and very famously fell out, with, of course, the co-star Sarah Jessica Parker, being very spiteful on camera. What happened was she literally went on a chat show and said it would have been nicer if Sarah could have been a little bit kinder. None of the other girls really came out in support, and it was all a bit messy and a bit frantic, some people might say. Then things took an even darker twist, because as Kim Cattrall had basically said, well, she would come back for a cameo in the latest rebooted series, and just like that, she got paid a lot of money and was on screen a few seconds, but not with the co-stars, the celebrated phone call, the usual stuff. Now, behind the scenes, what I've found out is simply this. It's always about two things in the end, isn't it? Money and power. And according to a very well-placed source, and as ever allegedly, basically Kim wanted to be an executive producer. Sarah was, alongside the creator Darren Star, and more importantly, you see, then when Kim allegedly couldn't get her own way, she decided that all the girls in a show of unity should be executive producers. That wasn't the deal. Sarah had a lot of power, and apparently that was the bigger problem, you see. Sarah could call retakes, costumes, screen time, storyboards, as executive producers can. Some people say this might simply be sour grapes from Kim Cattrall. Others suggest also she should be very grateful for the fact that the power, the prestige, and the fame and fortune that this series gave her. But even now at this celebrated new birthday age, it appears, according to that source, that Kim is not shying away and has simply got no plans to reunite with the ladies on screen, which of course results in many people thinking that's a terrible shame, because of course they all loved the show, and to think that truly they couldn't stand each other, or at least one of them, off camera, really now resonates more than ever in these caring, sharing and more uplifting times in 2024. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.